Hey, what's going on, folks? This your boy New Jack coming at you live. The 2016 through 17 college football season is around the corner. So today, I'm going to give y'all my predictions on which teams are going to win each conference of this year's college football season, starting with the SEC. The SEC East, I have the Tennessee Volunteers winning the SEC East. The Volunteers haven't played for an SEC title since 2007, but that streak should end this year. Quarterback Joshua Dobbs and running back Jalen Hurd will be the keys to that offense. Tennessee's defense will be good this year, led by defensive end Derek Barnett and linebacker Jalen Mabin. Should be two of the SEC's top defenders. Georgia and Florida are not far behind from Tennessee. For Georgia, they lost their head coach, Mark Richt. He's coaching for the University of Miami, the U. He's the new head coach for the Miami Hurricanes, Mark Richt. In Florida, they're not far behind. I think they're going to do really good this year. They won the SEC East last year and got embarrassed versus Alabama last year during the SEC championship game. If I had to pick a team to win the SEC East, I'm going to have to go with the Tennessee Volunteers. I believe this year they will win the SEC East. So I have the Tennessee Volunteers winning the SEC East. The SEC West, I have the Roll Tide Alabama winning the SEC West. The Kings of the SEC, the strongest conference in college football. The 2015 national champions will once again be one of the teams to beat in the SEC this year. But the big question is, can Alabama finally defeat Ole Miss? Ole Miss has defeated Alabama for 2 years in a row. Can Alabama get over that slope? We shall see. Alabama has lost their star running back, Derrick Henry, to the Tennessee Titans during the NFL draft. Running backs Damian Harris and Bo Scarborough will be the two-headed monsters headed this season to pound that rock. Wide receiver Calvin Ridley will have a breakout season. He will be the go-to guy on that offense. At the quarterback position, Jake Coker is not there anymore. Here comes in Cooper Bateman, who will be the starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide. Alabama's defense will be very good again this year, like always. Led by linebacker Reuben Foster. Alabama's toughest game will be against LSU at Tiger Stadium. And of course, Heisman Trophy favorite running back Leonard Fournette is seeking for revenge from last year until a team in the SEC defeats Alabama besides Ole Miss, I have to roll with the Tide to win the SEC West. So I have the Roll Tide winning the SEC West. The SEC Championship, I have Alabama versus Tennessee. And which team do I have winning the SEC Championship? America, say it with me. I have the Roll Tide winning the SEC Championship again this year. Tennessee is a good team. I think they're the strongest team in the SEC East. But we all know, us college fans know, that the SEC West is stronger than the SEC East. For the ones that watch college football, the SEC West is stronger than the SEC East. So that's why, once again, I'm picking the Tide to win the SEC. So I have the Alabama Crimson Tide winning the SEC once again. The ACC Conference, the ACC Atlantic Division. I have the Clemson Tigers winning the Atlantic Division. The 2015 ACC champions fell just a little short in the national championship game against Alabama. The pieces are in place for Sweeney's team to win it all this year. Quarterback Deshaun Watson leads a dynamic offense with a receiving corps and offensive line among the best in the nation this year. Clemson's toughest game will be against Florida State at Tallahassee this year. Look out for that game. That's going to be a really good game. A tough game for Clemson. Clemson averaged 38.5 points per game last year. The scary part is they could be even better this year. Clemson returns 8 starters from their offense last year, led by running back Wayne Gallman, who rushed for 1,527 yards last year. I believe he's going to have a really good season like he did last year. Wide receiver Mike Williams, I believe he's going to have a good year this season. So Deshaun Watson has a running back and a go-to guy this year. Should be interesting for Clemson. Clemson's defense, led by linebacker Ben Boulware, who I believe will have another good season this year, along with freshman defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, the number 2 overall recruit, will make an impact this year. So I have the Clemson Tigers winning the Atlantic Division. The ACC Coastal Division. I have the Miami Hurricanes winning the Coastal Division. As I said earlier during the video, that the Miami Hurricanes hired Mark Richt as their new head coach from Georgia. I wish him luck down at South Beach. He comes into a program with a good quarterback and Brad Kaaya, who will do very well this year, I believe. But will that be enough to knock off the ACC's best, Clemson and Florida State, for a conference title? Will that be enough? We shall see. Quarterback Brad Kaaya finished in the top 3 in the ACC in yards per game, fewest interceptions, yards per attempt, and passer rating. Running back Mark Walton will be their workhorse this year, along with running back Joe Yearby, who rushed for over 1,000 yards last season. Miami's offensive line is their weakest link. Hopefully, they upgraded that line coming into this season. Miami's defense, led by linebacker Jermaine Grace, Michael Pinkney, and Zach McLeod, should be a good one headed this season. So I have the Miami Hurricanes winning the Coastal Division. The ACC Championship game. Miami versus Clemson. This should be an exciting football game to watch. I believe this will be the ACC Championship game for this year. And which team do I have winning this ACC Championship game? I have the Clemson Tigers winning the ACC for the second straight year in a row. I believe Deshaun Watson is going to have a field day against that Miami Hurricanes defense. My final score prediction. I have Clemson defeating Miami 31-21. I believe it's going to be a close game. During halftime, I think it's going to be tied up. But in that fourth quarter, I believe Deshaun Watson is going to light it up. He's going to light up that defense and win the game for Clemson. So I have the Clemson Tigers winning the ACC Championship. The Big 12 Conference. And of course, y'all know that the Big 12 doesn't have a conference championship. But we all know that the Oklahoma Sooners are the heavy favorites to win the Big 12 this year. And I believe that Oklahoma is going to win the Big 12 again this year, led by quarterback Baker Mayfield and company. I believe Oklahoma is the team to beat in the Big 12, and I believe they will win the Big 12 again this year. So I have the Oklahoma Sooners winning the Big 12. The Pac-12 Conference. The Pac-12 North Division. I have Stanford winning the North Division. Stanford has claimed at least a share of the Pac-12 North title 4 out of 5 times under head coach David Shaw. Running back Christian McCaffrey, who is one of the nation's best players, and he will anchor an offense that features a new quarterback, Keller Christ, and a rebuilt line. Stanford has to deal with an improved Washington team in the North and a challenging schedule featuring road trips to UCLA, Notre Dame, and Oregon. Running back Christian McCaffrey will put up some big numbers this year like he did last year. He set NCAA single season records last season with 3,864 total yards, including a school record with 2,109 yards on the ground. Stanford will lean heavily towards defensive lineman Solomon Thomas to lead that front seven. I believe Stanford is going to play some really good defense this year. And we all know what Christian McCaffrey can do. So I have Stanford winning the North Division. The Pac-12 South Division. I have UCLA winning the South Division. UCLA has 12 returning starters and a rising star in sophomore quarterback Josh Rosen. The Bruins are the team to beat in the Pac-12 South. Southern Cal might have more talent on the roster, but UCLA doesn't have to play Oregon or Washington in crossover play and host Southern Cal on November the 19th. The edge in scheduling is a huge boost for UCLA. Quarterback Josh Rosen is aiming to build upon an impressive season last year that earned him the Pac-12 Offense Freshman of the Year honors. He threw for 3,669 yards and 23 touchdowns, although he did have 11 interceptions. UCLA's defense, they lost linebacker Miles Jack to the NFL. He is a Jaguar now. But I believe the defense will still perform very well this year. All the starters are back on secondary. That should again be a strength after leading the Pac-12 in pass defense. UCLA is going to be very good again this year. So I have UCLA winning the South Division. The Pac-12 championship game. I have Stanford going up against UCLA. I believe this is going to be the Pac-12 championship. And which team do I have winning this game? I have Stanford defeating UCLA. My final score prediction: Stanford 37, UCLA 31. I believe running back Christian McCaffrey is going to have a field day. So I have Stanford winning the Pac-12 championship game. Moving on to the Big Ten Conference. Starting with the East Division. I have the Ohio State winning the East Division. Despite losing a wealth of talent to the NFL, Ohio State is posed for another run at the Big Ten title and a spot in the college football playoff. Quarterback J.T. Barrett is the unquestioned number one quarterback this year. And yes, we did lose running back Ezekiel Elliott to the Dallas Cowboys. And we also lost Braxton Miller, Joey Bosa, and Eli Apple to the NFL draft. The offense soared late in the year with J.T. Barrett taking snaps and finding receivers. Redshirt freshman Mike Weber is ready to emerge at the running back position. Chris Samuel should also get touches in that backfield. Wide receiver positions are stacked with Noah Brown, Corey Smith, KJ Hill, and Austin Mack. Ohio State has one of the best receiving corps coming into this season. Ohio State's defense, led by middle linebacker Raekwon McMillan, who is one of the best linebackers in the nation, will have another good year this season. He racked up a team high with 119 tackles last year. Eric Smith will be the other playmaker on secondary. The biggest game this year will be against Michigan at the Horseshoe. And I have just the right song for y'all Michigan fans. Roll it! So I have the Ohio State winning the Big Ten East Division. The Big Ten West Division. I have the Iowa Hawkeyes winning the West Division. The Hawkeyes finished with a 12-2 record, claimed the Big Ten's West Division title, and came within a goal line stand of reaching the college football playoff. Quarterback C.J. Beathard returns as the leader for that offense, while the defense returns standout cornerback Desmond King, who is one of the best cornerbacks in the nation. Will have another good season. Iowa got embarrassed last year against Stanford in the Rose Bowl. I mean, Christian McCaffrey had a field day against them. They got blown out 45-16. That game was over. Really, after the damn first quarter, it was over. I mean, it was an ugly game for Iowa. But that was last year. I believe Iowa will have another good season this year. They still have one of the best offensive lines in the nation. And I believe they're going to be good again this year. So look out for Iowa. So I have Iowa winning the West Division. The Big Ten. Damn, that's a good shake. The Big Ten championship game. I have Ohio State versus Iowa. And which team do I have winning the Big Ten championship? If y'all didn't realize, the jersey that I'm wearing, of course, y'all already know that I have the Ohio State defeating Iowa in the Big Ten championship game. My final score prediction: Ohio State 41, Iowa 24. I believe JT Barrett is going to have a field day in this game. He will throw for at least 3 touchdowns and have at least 2 touchdowns on the ground. And I believe JT Barrett will be the Big Ten championship MVP. So I have Ohio State winning the Big Ten championship. So for my college football playoff, looks like this. Starting with my 4th seed, I have the Oklahoma Sooners getting the 4th seed. The 3rd seed, I have the Clemson Tigers getting the 3rd seed. The 2nd seed, I have my Ohio State Buckeyes getting the 2nd seed. And the number 1 seed, I have the Roll Tide Alabama getting the number 1 seed. And which team do I have winning it all? Y'all gonna have to find out in December when I make my college football playoff predictions video. So y'all stay tuned until December for that video. But for the ones that watch me, y'all know I do college football videos every week during the season, and I do the NFL also. I do videos on the NFL every week. So y'all stay tuned for those videos. But until then, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Football season is around the corner. I cannot wait for it. I can't wait too much damn longer. Come on. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Y'all take care. There's more videos coming at y'all soon. I'll keep y'all updated. And make it hard.